How in the hell is everybody doing? My name is Alan Roberts, and we are back. So, for those of you that are bitching about the thumbnail, too bad. I do that to you on purpose, just so everybody can understand the actual ramifications of being a super fat. Because the actual ramifications of being a super fat makes you look like that. But here's what we shall do. Anytime from now on, somebody gets uppity in the chat, this is what you get. Anytime somebody gets uppity in the chat, this goes on. From now on. New rule. I hope you learned your lesson. Looking like that is your biggest fear. It should be. It should be. It should terrify every fucking human being on the planet. Every human being should be like, it is not fat phobic to be afraid to look like that. It is common motherfucking sense. Like, I'm sorry, but let's just be as real as possible, right? It is not fat phobic to think that that is horrible. It is not fat phobic to think that this is a result of years of daily self-harm, denial, and enabling. It is not fat phobia to say the truth that this is gross. It's just not. So understand that when you get uppity in the chat, that's what you're going to get from that. I hope you all learned your lesson. And with that, and I do, I hope you learned your lesson. But I have a prepared speech to read to say why morbid obesity is a selfish burden upon everyone. Because morbid obesity, which is defined as a waist-to-height ratio of 0.60 or above, represents a profound act of self-indulgence rooted in excess caloric intake and sedentary behaviors that prioritize immediate gratification over long-term well-being and communal responsibility. The condition stems from privileged access to abundant calorie-dense foods and lifestyle enhanced by technological conveniences in affluent societies. Obesity is not a condition of poverty. Obesity is a condition of overconsumption 100% of the time. Period. This condition stems from privileged access and abundant calorie-dense foods and lifestyles enabled by technological conveniences in affluent societies where overconsumption is not a survival necessary, but a luxury afforded by economic stability and resource surplus. By choosing paths that lead to such extreme weight gain, often through unchecked overeating and minimal physical activity, individuals impose cascading harms on themselves, their immediate circles, broader society, national economies, and global environment. Drawing from extensive scientific literature, this manifests as a self-burden that drains resources, exacerbates inequalities, and accelerates collective decline. So, now we're going to talk about the harms to the morbidly obese individual themselves. Morbid obesity inflicts severe, multifaceted damage on a person themselves, shortening life expectancy and degrading quality of life through a barrage of chronic diseases and physiological barriers. So, you'll hear people talk a lot about lifespan, but the issue is not lifespan. We could keep a corpse alive. We could basically keep a vegetative state person alive into their 90s. Like, very honestly, as long as nutrients keep going in, oxygen keeps going in, they could be brain dead and the body might work. You know, like they could be gone completely and their body still might work. That is not a lifespan. Like, that is a lifespan, but a health span is how long you are healthy for in the course of your life. For instance, most of the fat activists that are in their 20s, I have a much greater health span than them already because they are not healthy, and I am healthy at 54 years old. So that's how that works. But morbid obesity inflicts severe, multifaceted damage on the person themselves, shortening life expectancy and degrading quality of life through a barrage of chronic illnesses and physical breakdowns. It alleviates risk, or it elevates risks of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, multiple cancer, stroke, osteoarthritis, and respiratory issues like obstructive sleep apnea, leading to premature death in over 2/3 of the cases tied to high BMI or high waist-to-height ratio. Studies quantifying this as a higher mortality rate than smoking, drinking, or poverty, with obese individuals facing up to a 20% greater chronic illness burdens, including hypertension, dyslipidemia, liver disease. Mental health deteriorates profoundly when morbidly obese, and we can see that. With heightened incidence of clinical depression, anxiety, and reduced overall well-being, as excess weight impairs mobility. Self-esteem and daily functioning go downhill. Longitudinal data from 195 countries over 25 years shows that high BMI and high waist-to-height ratio drives disability-adjusted life years lost, equating to years of productive life squandered on preventable illnesses. In essence, the morbidly obese person's pursuit of excess comfort through overconsumption condemns them to a cycle of pain, medical dependency, and early mortality. Just absolutely true stuff. They're not healthy now. That's the thing. Like, if you are in any way encumbered by being morbidly obese, you do not have a health span. If your mobility has been hindered by something, it is part of your health span going down. So I don't necessarily think you understand what I'm saying, but it's okay. Anyway, the harms to the family and friends. The ripple effect among morbid obesity extends insidiously to family and friends, imposing emotional, physiological, and financial strains to erode relationships and force loved ones into unwilling caregiver roles. Families bear the brunt of increased healthcare demands, with childhood obesity alone costing an average of $19,000 per child over their lifetime, diverting household resources for education or savings. Emotional tolls include heightened stress and from witnessing loved ones decline health, social stigma that isolates the family unit because somebody is fat and over-consuming all of our goddamn resources. Studies highlight how obesity fosters social exclusion, loneliness, and reduces quality of life for kin as caregivers grappling with physical assistances, medical appointments, and the physiological weight of potential loss. Financially, families face indirect costs like lost wages and from caregiver time, compound economic insecurities. One review noted that notes obesity's role in amplifying family stressors, including household burdens and emotional distress. Harm to society. On a societal level, morbid obesity acts as a parasitic drain, inflating healthcare expenditures, diminishing workforce productivity, and widening inequalities through resource misallocation. Direct medical costs alone account for $4 billion annually, with obesity linked to an astounding cost of like $38 billion comprehensively, just straight obesity. So I just don't think that people get how bad this is. Harm to the country. Nationally, morbid obesity undermines economic vitality, national security, and demographic stability by eroding GDP growth and inflating public budgets. I mean, it's bad for everybody. Everybody. It's bad for the planet, bad for everybody. So so you're saying that because I'm 54 and have the physicality of a 20-some-year-old, that should matter, right? You're still 54. You're old. Oh my God, I think you're bald too. I'm still going to outlive any 300-pound fat woman or fat man in their mid-20s right now. I'm still going to outlive them. You understand that? By many years, likely. Like, that's what I'm talking about, health span. I have a longer health span than they could possibly have because they are not healthy. I don't discount it. It's weird how you're arguing. Like, you want to make sure that I know my age. It's fucking sad. Anyway, exactly. Here we go. So I'll take Q&A. And by the way, UT Lover, if you want to explain it to me live, you can come on live with me. Cam up. And make sure the camera's on your face. It's also quality of life. Being obese is fucking miserable. That's the fucking truth. That's what I'm talking about. There's health span and lifespan. Being morbidly obese is just fucking disgustingly fucking horrible. It's just bad for the body, bad for everybody. It seriously is. It's horrible. All right. So I shall take questions. By the way, here's where you can get our coaching. You can get the GLP-1 booster stack, free 6-month coaching. Please do take us up on those offers. Look forward to working with you. Oh. And all right. That is my spiel for why morbid obesity is a burden on all of society. And since we don't have any questions flowing in, I am probably going to come back a little later on this evening and do some longer Q&A. But I'm going to let hang on. I'll answer these few. I'm back in school, and I finally get really hungry when I'm studying. My hydration is great. Do you have any tips? So back in school, it sounds to me like you're stressing a little bit. So I would worry about maybe some stress relief techniques that aren't food related. But also just make sure you're getting proper sleep. And if you're moving around a little bit more, you might need to up your hydration even just a little bit more. So, and let's see. Michelle, do you work with people on GLP-1s? Yes. I work with anybody. I absolutely do. We actually have quite a few people that are on GLP-1s that are trying to build healthy habits so they don't have to stay on the GLP-1 forever. They're using the GLP-1 as a tool to help them build healthier habits. So yes, we work with everybody. So, and we would love to have you on. And if you're going to get coaching slots, get them now because we're almost full. One more time. Here's the link. Boom. Let's see. Severa Jordan. I finally convinced my parents to join me in getting healthy. That's awesome. Great job. They're a 75-year-old powerlifters. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's no quality of life that big. Here we go. I commented on your live video about a year ago. I'm checking in again, and I have lost 180 pounds now. That's goddamn amazing. Everybody congratulate Powerful Reuben. Everybody congratulate that motherfucker. That is a hero. That is a hero. Took me more than a year, though, naturally. That's fucking awesome, bro. That's fucking awesome. So fucking amazing. You should be so proud of yourself. No shit. God damn, that's amazing, dude. Very, very, very proud of you. Very, very, very. All right, folks, I am going to go cook up some food. It is time for my wife and I to eat. I hope you all have a great goddamn day. My name is Alan Roberts. I will be back probably later on this evening. Goddamn.